Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Joel from Easy Engineering, and welcome back to another video. So we're talking about parallel compression today, and this is honestly one of my favorite techniques within compression that you can do. It can really help a lot with your mix depending on what you're trying to do, and it's just a great technique in really bringing out a lot of drums. It can be used on vocals and just bring a nice layer of warmth to your mix. Now, the reason why I say this is because when you add parallel compression, you are adding it parallel to the audio that you're wanting to compress rather than linear, whereas you'll add on, let's say this channel, you'll add a compressor here, compressor here, compressor here. That means that you have your compressors in series. Whereas if you want to do parallel compression, this is the audio signal that you want to be compressing, but you'll have a compressor on, let's say, a send and return channel, and then you will send the audio signal to the compressor for it to then be compressed and sent back to the master output. And it's just a way of kind of getting a decent balance between the dry and wet signals, and it has a really amazing effects, this type of technique. And I've actually been reading recently that you can add more than one compressor to do some parallel compression. Depending on the type of compressor that you use will have a certain effect on it. So now what I've learned over the years is that parallel compression should normally be used when, let's say, you want to bring out some drums or you want to bring out the low end a bit more. And this is because the way parallel compression is done, so if you can see here, I've got my three parallel compressors, my compressors ready to go. And essentially what parallel compression is it's squashing the signal to a very extreme state. So you can see the threshold is at -36, ratio is at 10. Personally, I wouldn't have it at 10. This is kind of just FabFilter's stock preset. I usually have it between 6 and 8. You also have a very short attack and a very short or long release depending on what you're doing. Usually for like drums or something like that, you want to have a shorter release. But if you're using parallel compression within mastering, you want to have a longer release because you're obviously compressing the entire signal, the entire song, so you don't want to get any kind of flutter. Now, the reason we do this is because we're squashing the incoming signal to the point where we're kind of capturing the RMS peaks of the incoming signal, and by compressing the range and then sending that signal back, you're kind of doubling up within that range of frequencies that are being compressed, those peaks that are being compressed. Usually bigger peaks tend to be more higher frequencies and the lower peaks tend to be more lower frequencies, and this is why parallel compression has the effect of kind of beefing up some tracks, beefing up some drums. So if you can see over here, they've all turned off. We got just a simple, just a drum loop over here, just some drums. So it's a great way of showing you an example. So now I'm going to put this one on, and so I have three different types of compressors going on here. I've got an optical, I've got just a normal, let's say, linear phase, and then I have a classic style compressor for this one. And each one will have certain effects. One will kind of bring out more of the warmth, another will bring out more of clarity. So you got to kind of know which type of compressor does what. And so with this one, if you can see, let's turn it on and we'll start playing. It already brings out quite a bit of clarity within the whole drum set. So if you can kind of hear, let's say, the overheads and the snare, it just brings them forward a bit more. And with the normal linear phase compressor, you see this is my settings that I've done. A short attack, longer release, we'll drop the release a bit, and 7 ratio at 31.5 threshold, and let's see what it does over here. See, it brings out a bit more of the punch of the kick and just a bit more brightness to the snare, if you can. And the third one is probably one of my favorite compressors, is the CLA2A compressor, which is an optical compressor. And this usually will bring out more of the warmth of the sound. So let's hear it. It just brings out that low end of the kick a little bit more. Now, in used together, you can kind of create some really cool, nice warmth and surrounding warmth and clarity to the whole mix. So it's all about finding the balance, really. if you can hear the hi-hats, when I turn this off and on, when it's on, it becomes more like brighter. If I turn this off, you'll hear the bass drop. The kick gets lost a little bit. So yeah, it's a great technique. I love it. I use it quite often in mastering when I want to try and boost the low end, but I don't want to add an EQ or compress that, put the compressor as an insert. I'd rather use some parallel compression. And a great way for using parallel compression is on vocals, because it will kind of bring them forward without actually doing too much to the mix, and it just adds that little subtlety of pushing them forward just a little bit more, and it brings them out in the mix and makes it a bit more clearer. So yeah, that's pretty much parallel compression. Now, the settings of a parallel compressor, as I've mentioned before, is quite extreme. The reason why you have a short attack is because you want to be capturing those RMS transients, and short release is because obviously, with regards to percussion, they're quite short sounds, so you don't want to have a longer release, because obviously then it takes longer for the compressor to stop compressing. Therefore, each snare hit or hi-hat hit will get softer and softer, because the compressor is not given enough time to stop compressing before the next incoming signal comes through the compressor. So it all depends. Like I said, with mastering, you kind of want to have a little bit more of a release, because obviously you're capturing all the transients within the song, not just the drums. With vocals, it all depends on the vocals, being used, what type of voice it is. But I would also just say maybe a medium release and a bit of a longer attack, maybe, because you want to still try and preserve some transients, but it all depends on the flow of the voice. Anyway, I hope this video, it wasn't too long. I'd try to get it as short as I can while explaining all the different settings and techniques that you can use with parallel compression. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Like I said, just try it out for yourself, and all you have to do is set up a send and return channel, put a compressor on there, get your settings correct, send through the channel fully, and then you kind of, with the volume fader, you kind of find that balance between the dry and the wet signal, and just try it out for yourself. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you use this technique within your mixes now, and I hope you get some banging mixes out of this. So thanks very much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment if you enjoyed it too, and if you want to see more of these videos, then please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.